figure if we keep turning up the heat every day, we'll get less and less people. All right, everybody. I look forward to the time that I'm not out here with you. Not that I don't appreciate everything that you do, but we're starting to wind things down as far as the residents and survivors. The temporary shelter at the Tomeo Center was closed as of yesterday. All Gabriel House residents that were at the Tomeo Center have been placed in other living arrangements, whether with family or other facilities. There are still 2 residents at a hotel. They'll be placed most likely later today. Again, any hospitalized residents will be placed by hospitals upon discharge. There are currently now 2 critical patients, I believe at Rhode Island Hospital. I want to thank everybody on this closing of the Tomeo Center, and I haven't thanked them before, and I feel badly about that. But Pastor Tom Mello, who runs the Spindle City Church down there, and Father Rob Nenkovich, who is the pastor at Blessed Trinity Church in Fall River, did an incredible effort in volunteering their time and helping those families. I also want to thank the many local organizations and agencies that came together in this time of tragedy to provide food, clothing, and any services that the residents needed. It's really been an incredible outpouring and show of support for not just the residents, the victims, the families, the fire department, and all of public safety in the city of Fall River, and we're very appreciative of that. I believe that you should know that all public record requests from the Code Enforcement Division have been received and been responded to from the city of Fall River. I ask for your patience once again with the fire department. We're incredibly busy with our duties associated with the fire, and I'm going to try to start to tackle some of those tomorrow morning. I hope I can clear my schedule and get some of that done for you. But I do appreciate your patience with those. I know there's been a lot of interest in speaking to my firefighters. They're all at the stations today. And initially I was very much for that. After having spoken with a bunch of them this morning when I was outside of meetings, I asked that maybe we hold off on that. The emotions are a little too raw. The stories are a little too vivid. It's more incredible than what I initially thought it was going to be. I'll share a couple of them with you if I can get through them. And in the context of firefighting, these are nothing short of heroic. When Engine 5, they were the first engine to pull up on scene. The captain, who was one of the best captains that I have on my job, he's an incredible firefighter and a great leader. He got off the truck and said it was eerily quiet. Flames were blowing out the front door. He advanced 2 hose lines with a 3-man crew. Now, typically it's minimum of 2 firefighters per hose line, but he recognized the danger in that building and the risks that were posed by the residents and ordered his crew to advance 2 hose lines with 3 of them. He knocked down the fire very quickly to the point that countless lives were saved. If that fire goes unchecked, and if people are screaming as he pulls up in those windows, I don't know if he pulls those hose lines in. So countless lives were saved by those actions. And I think it was a blessing in that the residents weren't yelling out the windows at that point, because my trucks that pull up mere seconds after Engine 5 is advancing that hose line, Engine 4, Engine 2, and Ladder 2 arrive to a chaotic scene. They describe seeing faces in windows. Sorry. And having to decide who they need to rescue. I'll share with you one of the more amazing stories that I've heard today. My crew of Ladder 2, the officer masks up, is in full gear. The driver gets off the truck in his station wear, essentially some form of what I'm wearing today. They go to the 2nd floor on the west side of the building, make entrance where there's heavy black smoke and they can't see their hands in front of their faces. The driver waits at the door or makes his way in as far as he can. The officer begins to break into rooms and pull victims out. They're all non-ambulatory. that wing had nobody who could escape on their own. He pulls the first victim out, drags him down the hallway to awaiting police officers, and his driver who's awaiting there. His driver, single-handedly lifts up each victim. Puts them on his shoulder, walks down single-handedly a flight of stairs, across the street, screams for a medic, and every time somebody screamed for a medic, Fall River EMS was there to help provide life-saving care. Every time a victim came to that door, police were there to deliver those victims to the Fall River EMS to provide life-saving care. Now, this might sound remarkable to you. That driver of Ladder 2 repeated that action 6 times. It's beyond comprehension in the room that we were in that had Boston firefighters and firefighters from large communities that were there for peer support. It's beyond their comprehension, and some of the biggest fire departments, it's beyond my comprehension. These actions are heroic. And they're repeated over and over and over again by the 35 firefighters that showed up on duty that night. There's no doubt in my mind that that fire was destined to kill 50 plus people. And that the firefighters from Fall River, in conjunction with the police department and the EMS division and the EMA division, saved all of those lives. Unfortunately, 9 were not able to be saved, but that number should have been 4 to 5 times that. When all these stories come out, they'll write books about it, they'll make movies about it. It's really that incredible. So, as you can see, the emotions are real, they're raw, and we're going to take some time to process this and put the scene back together, and I ask for your patience in that. So, if there's any questions I can answer.
Chief, how did they go from one person in critical condition to 2 people in critical condition?
Either that wasn't reported previously, or somebody was in stable condition and now in critical. I don't know the answer to that.
Do you know if anybody's gone out of the hospital?
So I would say that there are a lot of people that have been discharged from the local hospitals.
Do you know how many are still in the hospital?
I do not have that number, I'm sorry.
Are all 35 firefighters that were involved in this operation back on the force, or have some still on, or all firefighters?
So we have all the firefighters that I just described are at work today. Okay. The 2 district chiefs that were there, and it's one of the reasons that we haven't been able to really put the pieces together, because we need to talk about command decisions, what happened at the very beginning. One of those gentlemen had a pre-planned trip to New Hampshire. The other one was on overtime, and when he works his shift, his next shift, we'll discuss it with him. We have 6 firefighters right now who were injured. 4 of them are still injured on duty. Nothing life-threatening.
How about, Chief, you mentioned about, you're working on the fire department reports regarding your inspections over there, these building departments that they have released. Do you participate in that process at all? The building department is doing these inspections. The reason I ask is part of the checklist, there's you get the sprinkler system, fire extinguishers, etc. So presumably, as a layman, if I see an issue, certificate for that building, then those are supposed to be checked off, okay? And I guess, like I said, is it something your department participates when you do the separation?
Yeah, so a lot of those inspections, we don't have a big enough fire prevention division, and the building inspectors are spread thin as well. So a lot of those inspections, while they require both of our approvals, will be done at separate times. It's not often that we can coordinate to be there at the same time.
So do they, and then, again, just sorry about the process.
Yeah, no
So
worries.
They get the question of, they get the stuff about the inspection from the city building department. Do they also get a separate certificate from you as well?
Yeah, oh yeah. So Whether it's a certificate, actually, I don't want to misspeak whether it's a certificate or just an inspection form. I believe it's just an inspection form, and that's the stuff that we're going to get out to you. Unfortunately, I have one clerk. She's also answering a lot of your inquiries, doing double duty with that. My fire prevention division is spread thin still with the investigation, and the show must go on. We're still getting complaints in other areas of the city that we can't ignore, and they're out there doing that. We still have homes that need to be sold, so they're inspecting those. So while we're working as hard as we can with that, we're going to get that out to you as soon as we can.
I guess since I go on about it, but are yours inspection, your reports any different from what the building department?
Oh yeah, they're two separate forms.
No, but I mean they typically, you know.
Oh, I'm sure they are.
Yeah.
I'm sure they are. Like we're looking at, and I haven't seen the building department
Yeah.
forms. I would assume they are. We're looking for different things, so I would assume they are.
And just one last question. I just want to. Can you say the last time? I think it's been reported the last time you guys inspected it was July.
August of last year.
That was the last time you guys were.
That's the last time we were there. They were due for inspection next month.
And Chief, can you speak to concerns that fire drills are not being routinely conducted at the place?
I don't have any information on that right now.
Has your department ever received any confirmation that there was a fire?
Not to my knowledge. Oh, that there was a fire drill?
That they held fire drills?
Yes, absolutely. So you'll see on those reports that will be released that there are noted fire drills on those reports.
When you talk about firefighters rescuing the non-ambulatory people in the building, what section of the building were they spread throughout, or were those people in a specific wing by certain entrances, exits?
So just from the meetings that I've had today, it appears as though there were a large portion of people that are non-ambulatory on that second floor on the east side. But I can't say that was just there. I haven't been to all the stations yet to discuss. But based on the nature of the facility, I would say that there were non-ambulatory patients spread throughout the facility.
How close is that second floor east side that you're talking about to the actual fire?
Fire's on second floor, so that would have been open hallways. The smoke would have progressed right down those hallways very rapidly, and that's I think why the first lieutenant that makes his way into there reports that he can't see his hands in front of his face.
There were no automatic closing doors in the building?
I don't know that.
In terms of mutual aid, were mutual aid from other towns and cities sent to the fire scene or only to cover stations?
Cover stations.
So what was the reasoning behind that, behind not sending them to the fire scene?
So I would say the reasoning behind that is that's what we do, right? That's kind of the agreement that we have with our surrounding departments, is that they cover our stations and we throw everything we can from our department at the fire. I'm not saying that was 100% appropriate, and that maybe in this case we need to examine that, whether it would have been better to have those firefighters on the scene, but we're not. I'm not at that point yet.
Is there any update on a suspected cause at this point?
Oh, so, one more. One more. In terms of the injured firefighters,
Yes.
How many of them were injured while they were on duty versus others who were injured while they were off duty but just responded because of the crisis?
All the injuries were the first 35 people. They took the biggest beating. They pushed themselves beyond their limits. They got exhausted, said, I can't do this anymore, and went and saved 4 more people. They went through a bottle of air, got a second air bottle, and said, I need a break, and put a third air bottle in and went and rescued more people.
Do you know how long it took to clear the building entirely, Chief? I mean,
Yeah, so I would say within 40 minutes, 45 minutes of the fire starting, we were able to say that we had done a primary and a full secondary search in all of the building to make sure that there was nobody else left in the building.
Chief, do you mind if I just ask a timeline question on that? Can you tell us exactly what time firefighters arrived and then when the fire was actually knocked out? You just said it was pretty quick. Can you just
Yeah, I
give us that time?
don't have specific times on that. I haven't even had time to listen to the calls. I will know that based on the dispatch reports and the actual audio. I know you probably all have heard the audio, and I haven't even had time to listen to it. So
Do you have, Chief, any update at this point on even a suspected cause?
I don't. I'm comfortable saying that it's an accidental fire. There's nothing intentional about this fire. Other than that, Jake Wark.
And who was where in the
He's out of
building?
the office. We got an email from him saying he's out of the office. Is there someone else we can reach out to?
Jake's out of the office. I'm gonna call him and make sure that he plugs you guys into somebody
Okay.
else.
Okay.
Where in the building, do we know that yet, where the fire started? Has that been identified?
It was on that second floor,
in a room or a kitchen?
in a room on the second floor. Yeah.
Which side?
east side.
The door was burnt the most, other than that entryway, that door seemed to be the
Yeah, burn patterns are affected by many things, so we can't just really look at an exterior burn pattern.
Have you been in touch with the owner?
Resources are firefighters receiving?
So the EMS department has activated a critical incident stress team. They did a diffusion session on Monday night. They're doing a debriefing session tomorrow night. Some of my members, police department and EMS, have been at those sessions. There is, I couldn't even tell you, there's a huge number of peer support between the IAFF and PFFM in the city. Today, they're at all our stations. I asked them to come in. They're all firefighters, and I asked them to come in to just stand in the room and listen to some of these stories as the guys tell them, because I think it's going to help them help these guys down the line to really have a picture of what was going on at the fire. And I can't tell you enough about the support that I've received from the PFFM, the Bristol County Fire Chiefs, but also remarkably from the International Association of Firefighters and the Professional Firefighters of Massachusetts. It's really been incredible to get that
The mayor
support.
said that the owner was no longer cooperating. Are you running into that same issue? And if so, what kind of impact does that have?
I
When's the last
don't.
time you spoke to him?
I believe we don't have any contact with the owner. Once the Fall River Fire Department left the building for the investigation, that's all on the state at this point. So Jake Wark, he loves when I say his name up here. So
Chief, yesterday the city of Fall River mentioned that an outside consulting firm will be brought into the city by
Correct.
February.
Yep.
Tell us more about that.
Yeah.
Is that something that's going to lead to increasing staffing?
yeah, so the previous city administrator, Seth Aitken, in February, he and I had been discussing staffing in the city, advocating on different issues, and with the train coming into the city, the MBTA just came into the city. If you've been down near the battleship, you've seen the construction that's being done down there. That's going to be a huge new development of combination of retail and restaurants and housing. So we thought it was a good idea to hire a consulting firm to take a look at our actual call volume for the last 5 years and project what we might be able to do, where we can meet NFPA 1710. And where the challenges will be in the city for us to continue to do that, to make sure our stations are located in the right places, to make sure our apparatus are responding in the right areas, and to see if we needed more manpower in any of those stations. We've been working at the fire department closely with the consultants. They've been here numerous occasions to kind of fine-tune some of the numbers and station locations and things like that. The city is now going to meet with them to fine-tune the numbers, and I'm hoping. They're thinking 2 to 3 months. I think maybe even sooner that we'll have a good idea of exactly what the numbers look like in the city and what we need to be safe.
Is this something that they would consider that would potentially again give you some reasoning for hiring more?
I would say absolutely. I think that anywhere, I'm not the only fire chief that fights with the mayor and asking for more manpower. I think that there's a lot of mayors right now that are looking at this situation going, I have 20 of these in my city. Maybe I need to wake up and listen to the fire chief and see what I can do to increase the manpower.
Chief, any indication how safe the building was prior to all this? Have you been called there at all before?
I believe that the police had the most contact in that building, followed by EMS. Fire, we did have some contact in there, but nothing alarming. I would say that the building department would have been the ones that would have received any complaints in that building. We don't have any complaints.
There was reports of one elevator being in ignition. Do you know if that's true?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't have any reports on that.
When it comes to other assisted living facilities across Fall River, are
Yep.
there things you would like them to be doing and keeping in mind now in light of what just happened?
Yeah, I think that the message to any nursing homes or assisted living facilities is to be vigilant about your fire plan, to really focus on the patients and who can move and who can't move, who's going to need the most help, and to really focus on training and maybe adding extra fire drills for the time being, just to really make sure that everybody's ready to go in the event that the alarms go off.
How
On
many
that
fire
note,
drills per year should assisted living facilities
All right, I did. So I don't know about assisted living facilities. I unfortunately, I'm not well versed on that. I used to do nursing home inspections when I was a district chief, and they are required to do 2 per shift per quarter. Nursing homes and hospitals, 2 per shift per quarter.
We've heard from several family members, residents, that allegedly the 2 people who were on shift working that night left the building first without helping. Do you have any information about that?
I do not. I'm sorry.
Chief, can I ask you a quick question about, so I know this building built in 1964. Were some of the building and fire code requirements grandfathered in, meaning because of its age, the regulations wouldn't apply to it because no one was?
I can't answer that again. I would ask Jake Wark on that. It was originally built as a hotel, and it became an assisted living sometime in the 90s. And I can't speak to that. Was before I was on the fire department. That was when I was in high school. So with Dan. So I can't speak to that. I'm sorry. One more question.
Can you kind of explain why the fire inspection reports are taking a little bit more time than usual? Are we talking about just a PDF, or is there more something?
No, I wish they were PDFs. All right, so we just partnered with a company called Brycer. We figure our commercial compliance in the city of Fall River based on properties that we know was probably 50% in being able to inspect them and get those reports. This company called Brycer is going to get us up to 80-90% and digitize all of those reports for us. Where we don't have, like I said, we don't have the staffing in fire prevention to be able to do everything we need to do in the city. So we had one of the gentlemen who's responsible for these inspections came in on vacation yesterday to dig through boxes of paperwork. But outside of that, it's mainly because we just don't have enough people to process these and get them out.
All right, and you said hopefully we'll get those pretty soon.
I'm thinking tomorrow morning it's going to be, after I'm going to go to the stations today, and then I got to get away tonight for a little bit, and then tomorrow morning I'm going to come in with a fresh head and hopefully start processing some requests for you guys.
And I'm sorry, do you believe that the Gabriel House was holding the required number of fire drills, or is that still under investigation?
I have no way of knowing that right now. Thank you.
Thank you.